Hello everyone! Raid Shadow Legends is already 3 years old, but it still has a strong fan base, and new players come to see it has been in demand for so long. In this video, I make an honest review of Raid Shadow Legends, how it catches the players, and what's new. Let's get started. Raid Shadow Legends is a fantasy RPG with a huge number of champions and various rarity, more than 500 units. The game has a wide variety of activities that will need to be completed: Arena, Tower of Doom, Campaign, Dungeons, and Faction Wars. Each mode drops its own resources that are necessary for development. The harder the fight, the better rewards you will get. Raid's feature is multi-platform. If you link a profile to Plarium ID, you can play both PC and phone. The progress will be transferred to all devices. By the way, especially for beginners, there is a unique starting bonus. If you want to get an epic champion at the start, then open the description. There are 3 links with unique champions that are available to new accounts. The first link from the description gives you the champion Lightsworn. Lightsworn is a support hero, a tank that resurrects and strengthens allies, and you will also receive 100,000 of silver for pumping. You just need to follow the link on your PC, register, download, and after entering, you will receive unusual champions, and then you could play both on the PC and on the phone by your choice. The game progress is saved. Also, enter the raid promo code LUCKYRAID to get Chanaru and 300,000 of silver. The game developer is Plarium, founded in 2009. They were mainly engaged in the development of mobile and browser games. Then they increased their skills and made Raid Shadow Legends, which was very warmly received by the audience. To this day, they are engaged in the creation of new games and their support. A little bit of game lore. The curse of darkness has penetrated the world of Plarium. The balance of power has been disturbed. Darkness absorbs more and more lands, and strange monsters began to appear from the darkness. You and the other players must restore order and defeat the source, of course. You need to close the portal through which the forces of evil come. But the story does not end there. In Raid Shadow Legends, lore is a cyclical story that will never end because the heroes will constantly face evil. Raid is a very popular game. Even after 3 years, it is in no way inferior to the games of its competitors, of which there are a lot of. But let's look at the statistics of the game's popularity. As competitors, I chose the most popular games of this genre. So what do we see? At the moment, and for the last 12 months, it is Raid that has taken the top position in most countries of the world, in addition to China, Japan, Brazil, and France, where the competitors' game is more in the lead. But in general, the trend is towards Raid. Yes, and the graph shows that the popularity of the game is in its golden mean. The game has a pretty high online. Developers regularly arrange various events in the game and also distribute promotional codes. For example, most recently, the legendary champion Diliana was given away in honor of the 3rd anniversary of the game. And every month, developers release new promo codes that give resources for pumping and useful champions. As for example, earlier I showed you an interesting code for an epic gameplay. The main task is collecting champions. You could get them from complex activities for completing tournaments, summon them from Shards of Summon, or get them during events. As for example now, they give out for 7 days of active entry into the game Epic Champion Shaman. There is no open world or huge locations to explore and look for points of interest. This is a small original world of Plarium, with small locations and its own content. Champions are very different from each other. In addition to their appearance, they are divided into 5 types of rarity: common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. Here, for example, is the simplest uncommon hero that you could get anywhere. He has 2 abilities, but they are not taken into battle by the experienced players, all because they are simply weaker than the epic and legendary ones. Legendary heroes are the rarest champions. They have 3 to 5 abilities, but they have strong bonuses and debuffs. Legendary champions can only be obtained by using a sacred shard or by collecting shards that are obtained through difficult activities in the trade shop and other modes. And division into fractions only makes sense for participating in fraction battles, where you need to recruit 5 champions of the same fraction to upgrade and fight with them in one of the playlists. Champions are your style of play. Champions are grouped into a group of 4 and 5. 4 for PvP and campaign, 5 for PvE modes and bosses. To assemble a competent group, look at the abilities of the champions. Some can heal, some can apply debuffs, and some are just a good damage dealer. There are a lot of combinations and variations of groups. The best assemblies for any mode can be found on the internet. Usually there should be a tank in the group, the best healer you could get, and heroes that deal damage. Development. And this is the most important thing in the game. Without pumping, you cannot achieve progress in the campaign. Especially time-consuming is the farming equipment. All heroes have 6 slots for armor and weapons, and 3 slots for artifacts. All items have a set of characteristics. The drop of characteristics is random, and it will take time to get an item of a certain set of characteristics. Then, open the tavern and pump the characteristics of the champions. Each hero has their own experience bar. Take champions into battle and use magic brews to level up. The number of stars indicates what the maximum level could be. 1 star is 10 levels. Abilities are also pumped. For pumping, you need the resource of the thumb. Pumping abilities give increased damage, faster reloading of the skill, and increases the chance of applying debuffs. Ranking up is an opportunity to increase the number of stars and the maximum level. This is done with the help of other champions and with the help of chickens, especially for this process. And the last function is development, which allows you to improve the basic characteristics of the character by painting over the stars, using sets of potions. All this requires resources. They can be obtained by participating in all activities of the game. Battles in the game take place either in automatic mode or under your control. You choose the ability and whom to attack. The raid is a turn-based game. You need to follow the tactics to win. The first thing to choose is the ability, and then the target for the main attack. There is a special emphasis on the bosses in the game. Bosses are of varying difficulty and elements. They can also summon monsters and do deadly combos that kill everyone in your group, with the condition of course. Depending on the modes, you will encounter different mechanics that you will need to follow in order to win. The same fractions war. To go far, you need to collect a full party of characters for 1 fraction. Or here is the Fire Knight, who constantly puts on a shield that absorbs 90% of damage, and in order to deal full damage, you need champions who hit 2 or 3 times. And every boss has such mechanics. You need to adjust your group to what is occurring. In Raid Shadow Legends, there is such a mechanic as the elements. There are 4 of them: magic, spirit, force, and darkness. The first 3 elements are interconnected. Magic beats the spirit element. The spirit element is stronger than the force, and the force element dominates the magic element. In the center of the triangle is darkness, which has no weaknesses against other elements. What is the weakness or advantage here? If your element is superior to the enemy, then you have an increased chance to deal a critical hit and full damage, and damage will also be reduced for you. Modes. At the moment, there are 6 of them. Briefly about each. The campaign is the simplest of the modes, where you play as a group of 4 champions against monsters and bosses, 6 monster fights, and 1 boss fight. Dungeons is a mode against bosses in strongholds. Each dungeon boss has its own mechanics. These bosses drop scrolls and upgrade bottles. I talked a little about the Fraction Wars, but the essence is the same battle with the heroes of 1 fraction. Arena. These are battles against other players where the most pumped wins. Clan battles are battles with a huge clan boss that you cannot kill yourself. These battles are specifically for clans. The goal is to inflict as much damage as possible in order to receive rewards. There are 2 types of bosses, Hydra and Demon Lord. Tower of Doom is already the hardest of the modes, where you climb up the tower towards the bosses. The higher you climb, the bigger and cooler rewards you will receive. Should you play Raid Shadow Legends? Let's start with the simple one. The game is so accessible and simple that any beginner will figure out how to play. You could play Raid with or without donation. I play without donation at all. I have several legendary champions and many epic heroes that I take into the battles. You will 100% find something to do with yourself, since you always have activities that you need to farm. Farming is not a problem in the game. It is a simplification for the players. Just farming things with certain characteristics is difficult and time-consuming. Therefore, the developers brought the multi-fight. Moreover, you can simply put the mouse so that it clicks on the restart of the battle, and that's it. You will farm without your participation. There is a donation in the game, and it is very noticeable because you are constantly recommended to buy something in the main menu. But all this could be ignored, and you can also play without depositing money. A lot of things are sold for rubies, but you won't get a huge advantage since legendary shards are expensive. And without things with the right parameters, you won't be able to do anything in battle. Yes, as in any mobile game, there is a donation, but in Raid, it is an auxiliary functionality. In any case, the choice to play or not is yours. Do not forget that the link to the bonus during registration will be in the description and in the pinned comment. Go and download if you're interested in the game. Well, this is where my Raid Shadow Legends review of 2022 should end. I showed you the game, the gameplay, and the chips. I just shared my own impressions of the game. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so as to not miss new videos. Bye!